What's up, Coconut? Kayaditi here, and we're going to talk about the new mode Closest Putt. Just an overview of it, some tips, and the quirks. So the gist here, of course, is each person is going to get a single putt to get as close to the hole as possible. With most holes, this is straightforward. And the winner is going to be whoever's closest to the hole, even if you're around the corner. It's just about actual distance from your ball to the hole. So you might be around the corner and still be closer, even though in game, that would not be where you want to be. But let's say you both just go out completely. Well, the score is going to give you a bunch of zeros, like nobody won the hole. But if you both get a hole in one, you're both going to get a point. Let's say you get a hole like this, though, where everybody's going into the hole, but your score is different in a regular game depending on how many of these little side things you hit. Well, in here, in Closest Putt, you're just both going to get a point because you are closest to the hole. There's a few of these in the game, and I'm not necessarily covering them all, but I'm just showing like there's a point each, right? So like Elvis, this is maybe a little less intuitive because the front of the balcony there, that also ends up giving you a score. Therefore, it is a hole. And so these are various holes that do that. And there you go, like the roulette wheel as well. You're going to each get a point. The cheese, both get it in any of those hole options. They're all holes. You're both going to get a point. So no need to go trying to get that ace. If somebody completely misses, somebody else gets the ace. You get this that pops up.
So it appears that you win by 1,000 meters if you get a hole in one and they are off the course, or if they go off the course and you are some distance from the hole, you win by 1,000 meters minus that distance.
And that is why we get numbers like 999.
Sometimes the math can look a little strange when this happens. This hole is floating out in space. It's kind of unusual. And so here it looks like it's calculating the hole is at T. So you're still probably going to go for that ace. We did play at one point where we ended up being the exact same distance. It just said 0, 0, whatever. And then it actually gave the point to the person who had gone first. And so this is something that could change. A lot of things in here could change where they may go in and tweak individual holes that are scoring a little strangely. Hole 18 in Tourist Trap. Okay, sure. If you go the regular path, you're going to end up on that platform down there. Staying up here is still closer to the hole. So, you decide whether to take that risk and go off the back to get even closer. But probably you're going to just putt up to the edge of the platform. In something like Mist, where the holes are surrounded by these walls, you want to be at the middle of one of the flat edges. That is closer than near the point. And so that is the way you're going to putt it. Or just trying to get closer to where the hole is. It may be a wall there, maybe something, and it's like, okay, is this shorter than trying to go all the way around? Or is this shorter than trying to get it to go around the backside? That's going to be closer. Maybe you've got a putt like this where you're like, oh man, is my opponent good enough to pull this off with consistency? And therefore, I don't want to lay it up like this. So you're having to think through what you want to do. Okay, if they can get it really close, well, you're going to have to try something. It also can really matter who is going first and last, because if you win one hole, you're going to get to go first the next hole. And there's plenty of holes where you're thinking, I kind of would have liked to have gone last to see what they do. Because, you're doing weird things like this, putting up to a wall to be closest to the hole without taking the risk of trying to go the longer path. The hole's over there, so you're trying to tuck up into the corner, if somebody's not sure they can get that around. And you're like, okay, I got you by this teeny tiny little amount. And this is what makes the game fun, because there's all these little things to think about. So 20,000 leagues. So here's some quirkier holes. Like what was closest? So I went in and we tested this, my husband and I. And so got one on the platform up close, rolled one up into the corner. Let's see what happens. Okay, platform wins. And had 1.25 meters to spare. So probably trying to get around is a good idea. This hole in Labyrinth moves, so it's hard to know where it's calculating from. But here's some examples of, which ones win. And so maybe it's calculating somewhere between where the hole is moving. The Raptor Cliff dinosaur right now is peculiar. All right, so, go for the ace. And if you can get that, fantastic, because that is going to be the winning shot. Or you both get a point if you can both do it. But it can be missed for sure. And so maybe you're thinking, let me play it safe. I'm going to stay on the platform. And here's where things go sideways on this hole. Play a couple of things we did where we rolled it up into different areas, and see, he was farther away and still won. And we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And so we put it in different directions, and the person who was always closest to where T is winning this hole. So there's one to remember right now in case somebody takes that route. Now, Labyrinth, easy 18, another tricky one at the moment. Again, they may fix all this, but it's like, all right, let's roll down to the platform, because that does seem closer, but they look kind of the same. Nope, the person who stayed near T1. So I'm like, great, I'm going to knock it down there where I am clearly closer to this floating hole that is not the normal hole. He just stayed on the platform, and he still won, even though definitely I was closer. So this is not calculating from the crystal ball. So we go in on the platform and played this a number of times to try to go, all right, where on the platform is the winning putt for this hole? And it just, you know, is it in a corner? Is it up on the flat of this? Is it T? And in this case, unlike Raptor Cliffs, like, you've got the same corner right there, and it's winning every time. And so Raptor Cliffs was calculating it from T. This one is not. Not sure where this one is calculating from, though it does seem close to the platform. It's entirely possible that the hole in hard, where the dancers are, is actually near that, and that is why it's still calculating from there, even though it was moved in easy. Alright guys, I hope these tips help you out. Subscribe if you haven't, that really helps me out. Keep an eye on the video description in case there's updates about some of these holes, and I hope to see you on the green.